Welcome to another edition of the TSS podcast, brought to you in association with Luke 1977 and Bowden and Dolphin, with your hosts Rob Carless from Bob's Books and the legend that is Shaun Teale. He's here, there, and everywhere, and he's Tealey saying something.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the TSS podcast, abbreviated from Teale saying something. By now you will all know it, but let's just regarding the fact that we are going live again for our second podcast. So that's really good. Yeah, as everybody knows, it's abbreviated to the Teale saying something podcast. 3 or 4 years ago, Shaun and I got together and decided that he was worthy of a book about an ex-footballer, and it's still the case today. And his books do make good doorstops. So if people want to buy them for that reason, they can do. But Shaun, we've had 4 years together now, and we are doing live podcasts. The things that you do with people.
You never have thought we'd have got to this stage, would you? Absolutely. It was bad enough writing a book, yeah.
Talking about writing books. No, we'll come on to that in a minute. So, Shaun, how are you?
I'm very good, thanks. I've been out and done 18 holes today, so I'm quite happy because the sun's been shining for a change.
It's been beautiful. So I'm up in the Midlands for the next couple of days. Berkshire has been really nice and hot where our guest is, and Claire has told me that it's really nice for where we live. It's been beautiful in Birmingham today. I've been to see my uncle off, who reached the ripe old age of 91 in Aldridge, so he had a really good innings. So that was good today. Beautiful weather for him. And is it really nice up north as well then?
19 degrees today.
19 degrees?
Yeah, 19 degrees. It's been glorious all day.
I'll tell you what, that motorway to Blackpool will be absolutely blocked, won't it?
I don't do Blackpool anyway. You
can almost see Blackpool from your house.
I can see that. I can see the tower off the coast road. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Then there you go. I know we've done that drive together. So you've been going down Villa. It's been about 2-3 weeks since we did our first live one. And we are now nearly 2 seasons into doing these podcasts, which is really good. We've had some fantastic people come on and be our guests, and that will continue tonight. I've put it all out who it is, so it's no secret that we've got Mr. John Gregory with us. So I'll do the introduction to him in a couple of minutes. But what's going on down the Villa at the moment then? Watching the game against United on Sunday, Shaun, I just... even before the game, I just thought that we're not going to win this game. And I'm a half glass full person, as you know. So what was your thoughts on the way that we played?
I'll tell you what it is at the moment. It's not a pleasant watch at all. I just think we've gone, for some reason, we seem to have gone very negative. So, United first off, all right, we were in control of what we were doing, but we didn't look like we were going to score in a million years. And then the goals we give away, we just silly mistakes all the time. If you go to the last one, obviously, the second one, Bailey gives it away, trying to do whatever Bailey's trying to do. And within 2 passes, they're in behind us, and you think, stay with your man. Why don't you just track, as a defender, why don't you just track your man? But we don't. We have this silly high line at times, and we get caught out way, way too often. The writing was on as soon as they scored the first. I think the writing was on the cards for us. And funny enough, all this happened after we took John McGinn off. I mean, we'd looked okay without threatening really, but I don't know. I just think it's quite a boring watch at the moment. I'll be there tomorrow night, and I hope it's a lot better than it has been, because anything could happen tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, it's half time, isn't it, effectively, with that second leg coming up. And it's only one goal there, and Lille are a good team we did play well against them last week. There's no doubt about it. We did play really well. So have you got me a ticket then or not for this game? As I'm up in Birmingham. No. You haven't, have you? You don't care, do you? I can tell.
Well, the thing is,
his face.
I have no control.
Oh, no.
I told you, the only way we get a ticket apart from my ticket, is to go in a ballot. And if you pulled out the ballot 3 days before the game, you get a ticket. If you're not pulled out, you don't get one. It's as easy as that.
Yeah, I guess that. Chris, I've made him famous again over the last 4 years, and that's the way he treats me.
Yeah,
Chris Browne, our producer, what do you think about that?
I'm pretty disgusted, really.
But there was me trying to get a free ticket.
Yeah. I mean, you're a generous bloke. You're a generous bloke yourself, aren't you? I mean, I got some chocolates tonight.
He did. I'll go him some chocolates again, Teale.
Can't remember last time I got chocolates off you, Rob. Oh, sorry, I've never had them.
I send you headphones with hearts.
That don't work.
Don't work, yeah.
That don't work.
And as your phone.
It's fantastic.
Oh, it's my phone now, is it?
Yeah. So you know what's going to happen? He's going to ask me for a new phone, and
I think so, yeah. I think
Yeah.
funds, petty cash.
Absolutely.
I think we should have company phones for the podcast.
Yes, I do, yeah.
Yeah, we get company phones. Absolutely. That sounds like a good idea. We'll get our producer, Chris, to do that. Chris, how are you this evening?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. Still people calling for Chris Davis's head. Thoughts on it?
I know, it's crazy, isn't it, really? I mean, losing 2 games at home in 2 years and somebody's calling for your head.
The thing is, in my eyes, it's all about a big word that's bandied around football these days is sustainability, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you need at this moment in time. You're like us when we were dropping down and going into relegation fights for 3 or 4 seasons, and then we eventually went down. But I'll talk about that in my new book, which comes out on Monday. That's the first one that I've done there, Shaun. Just remember that. I haven't even told us what the name of the book is yet, but it comes out on Monday. So you can get it from Amazon and all these kind of places. But anyway, enough about my book. Let's talk about Shaun Teale for a minute then. So, Shaun, are we going to beat Lille tomorrow? I mean, also as well, when we were playing in that league phase and we finished second, I think, to Lyon or whoever it was, I really fancied us to go on and win this competition. And at the start of the season, I did a big 7-fold bet, and one of it was Villa to win the Europa League, and I got 7-1 on it, part of my accumulator. I'm not so sure because of the way that the draw has been for us. If I could have had anybody in the final, it would have been Roma. I'd have loved that, Roma versus Villa final. But we can't do that because they're in our side of the group.
Well, if we get through, we play the winners of Roma or Bologna, don't we?
We do, and they're 1-1 at this moment in time, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then I think it'd be either Midtjylland, Forest, or Genk. I think it is who are in that side of the draw as well. Do you think we're going to do it, Shaun?
I wouldn't write us off simply because I think we do play slightly different when we play in Europe. I think it's a different ball game altogether. The Premier League's really fast, really pacey, and I think when you play in Europe, you can play a different way. And I think Unai knows that, and we do tend to play a different way. We're a lot harder to beat. We don't give as many silly goals away as the Lille game proved because we defended really well on the night. So I wouldn't write us off. Do I think it'll be easy? Do I? No. But, I mean, at the moment, that's looking like our best way of getting into the Champions League.
Is it, though? Right. Now, the reason why I say that is because we've had a really bad time over the last 7 or 8 games, and we are still in the top 4. Form, it's the old adage, isn't it? Form is temporary, class is permanent.
Yeah.
That's what I say to fans when they win a game.
I think,
Yeah, but
I think the big plus there, Rob, is that Tielemans is not a million miles away, and with the international break, there's a chance he could be fit more or less straight after that. So we're getting players back. I mean, we know Kamara's out for the season, and if you look at our run of next 5 games, starting with West Ham on Sunday, they're all winnable games, all 5 of them, if we play well in them. And we've had this already this season. We went the first 5 games, scored 1 goal, got 1 point, and then we go on a run of 11 wins on the bounce. So it's not like we can't do it. It's just a case of will we do it?
Yeah, we are playing a different game in Europe, and I hark back to that first season when we were in the Conference League. All right, we beat Hibernian to qualify for those group games. And I recall that first game against Liège Warsaw, if you remember, and we lost the game 3-2. We hadn't played in Europe for 12, 15 years or whatever, and you could tell that Liège Warsaw had bin doing it year in, year out. I'm getting the feeling with Villa now that, we are becoming a very good European team. Everybody said that we should have won the Conference League. Why should we have won it, in my opinion? Because, Olympiacos and all these teams were seasoned European, clubs. So I don't buy that, in fairness. So I think we did well to, semi-finals. Would have been great to have won it and things like that. Last season, we get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And this season, it looks like we're going to win tomorrow, but there's no guarantees of that. So that'll be another quarterfinal, semi-final, hopefully a final on that. I think we really have become a really good team, a European team in the way that we play, that we seem to nullify teams that, play at home. What's your thoughts on that?
I agree with what you say about, people thinking we were going to waltz the Conference League 2 seasons ago. I think we're kidding themselves. I think we had a chance, but we came across Olympiacos and they were too good for us. And we have to accept that. But then I think the following year going into Champions League and the way we played and the way we handled the big games, I think gave us such a boost, gave the players a belief that they could play in the top competition. And hopefully that experience will carry us through this time. Like I say, who knows? You can lose it on the toss of a coin. Really, it's fine margins nowadays, and anything could happen. Early goal tomorrow for us, and hopefully that puts the tie to bed for us. We can go ahead and just finish the game off nicely. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so I mean, you know a little bit more about the injury updates, and in my eyes, this international break at the end of March cannot come quick enough, so we can get Youri Tielemans back. Is the talk that he will be back after that? So it's effectively tonight, West Ham, and then we've got the international break, so we got a 2-week effectively. Is that how it's? Yeah,
so basically, he's basically got another 3 weeks, hasn't he? Before we're due to play again after Sunday. So, I mean, all the talk is that he'll be ready. I read a thing today about is they're talking about him going over somewhere with Belgium to a training thing. So whether the Villa allow him to do that or not, who knows? I suppose if it's sensible kind of training for him to get involved again, I don't see it being that bad a thing. But because obviously at Villa there's going to be an awful lot of players not at Villa, not at Bodymore to train. So is that going to push him on when there's nobody there unless he's just training with the kids basically and building his fitness up in game time, training with the kids.
West Ham's
it'll be down to Unai Emery at the end of the day.
Yeah, West Ham's a must-win game, isn't it? And even that, I'm not 100% confident the way that West Ham.
Oh no, because they've at a better form and they're fighting for their lives, and the way they're going, I fancy them to be the ones that don't go down. I think it's a complete toss-up between Forest and Tottenham who goes. Tottenham will say, well, we've bounced back a bit, we've got a point at Liverpool, but Liverpool were really poor on the day. So, it is what it is. I just fancy West Ham to get out of it. I think they've got enough about them. Somerville is scoring goals, Bowen will always score goals. They seem to have shored it up at the back with Disasi, which again was a mystery to me why we didn't take him when we could have. But Unai Emery runs the club. He picks who he wants, and to a point, apart from Harvey Elliott, because obviously he didn't bring Harvey Elliott in. But will we use Harvey Elliott in Europe now because he can play in the European games without it affecting the deal?
Yeah, I mean that's obviously a good thing there. Do you realise that if Spurs do fall into that relegation trap, because of the way that they're set up and their revenue streams are, in the 500 million, 600 millions, which is the reason why they are still classed in the top six if they're not about football. They will make more money in the Championship, and with the Leagues 1 and 2, they'll make more money than the rest of them combined because of their activities off the pitch. Amazing.
They'll have an half-empty, beautiful stadium, though.
Yeah, they will do. Have you been there yet? I think I might have asked you this question before. Have
No.
you been there?
No, I don't really do away trips. Can't get tickets for away trips, so we don't really do.
You know what that means, Chris?
Can't get free tickets.
He can't get not 3 tickets.
Free.
For me, him and Carol.
No, can't even buy them. Can't even buy them. I've tried. Can't buy them.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Always something for nothing.
There's always something for nothing. As I keep on saying, Go on.
FA Cup at Preston last year was the only ones I bought the whole of last season. I was allowed to buy the whole of last season.
Allowed
to, yeah.
They're forced to.
Okay. But what you got to bear in mind is he lives 10 minutes away from Preston, and he always goes to Everton as well. He always goes.
15 minutes from the ground it is, actually.
Sorry, I do apologise. How's our Carol?
Struggling a bit. She has a chemo again next Thursday, so she's better than she was. She had a real bad 4 or 5 days after the last session of chemo, so we'll sort of enjoy it while she's feeling all right, because we know it's going to knock her for 6 again next week. So,
Well, yet again, we dedicate the show to her, and the Villa family are thinking about her. So let's start with that one, as we always do. And also, as well, I need to thank our sponsors, as I haven't done so far, 17 minutes into the show. So to Bowden and Dolphin Signs and to Luke 77. So thank you very much for your eternal support. It is much appreciated. Right. Before we go into the guest that we've got for tonight, shock, horror, gasp with his, just a quick one, because we're going to move into book corner. We're going to have a book corner for the last part of the show, or for the vast majority of it. So just so everybody's aware, people have been asking me about it. Sunshine After the Rain, which is the story of Aston Villa from 2009 to 2023, comes out on Monday. I'm very excited to see my first ever Villa book. I know, Shaun, we did one and it was Villa centric, but the first one on Villa, and my second guy that I'll be working with, there is obviously a lot of Villa in that as well. So yeah, Sunshine After the Rain comes out. It effectively is from it takes you from the misery in Moscow to beating Brighton in 2023 to get back into Europe. So it's the end days of O'Neill to the start of Unai Emery. So yeah, all good on that one. All good on that one. We're having a few people come onto the show, which is really good. Hi to everybody that's doing it. That's come on tonight. We really do appreciate it. Somebody from Blue Cheese, we've got Rob. There is some slight crackling on there. That's on there.
Tealey.
So let's just put it out there to the world. It's not Chris Browne, and it's not Rob Carless. So that narrows it down to Shaun Teale. But obviously, I'm not going to blame him direct for it. But that's the reason for it. But yeah, we'll be getting you a brand new studio next week, Teale.
Listen, I know who Blue Cheese is, and she won't believe a word you've just said.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, so that's the first Villa book that I've got coming out this year. It comes out on the 23rd, which is Monday. So, yeah, for everybody that's looking to have a good old read about, the trials and tribulations of O'Neill leaving to Unai coming in, then that will be the book for you. But it's time to introduce our guest for this as well. So the second book that's coming out this year is, we started Terrace Tales last year, and of course we've had people like Martin Granger, we've had Chris Kirkland come on, and I am currently working with an absolute legend of Villa. And why is he a legend of Villa? Well, the man has played for us, has coached for us, and he's also managed us. And not only has he done that, he's wore every single number from 2 to 12 for Aston Villa. So I'm currently writing a book called The Ties That Bind. Bit of a Bruce Springsteen homage, and there are little snippets in the book to just go over that. But I'm very pleased to say that we've got on the line with us tonight on the Teale Saying Something show, the legend that is John Gregory. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Lovely to be here. And by the way, are you going to the match tomorrow night?
Me?
No, you haven't got a ticket. You haven't got a ticket, have you?
I haven't got a ticket. No.
No. Are you going to the match on Sunday against West Ham?
I am, because I want.
And have you got a ticket for that?
Right. Yes.
And who got you the ticket?
John Gregory has got me the ticket.
There you go.
So
yeah, but he's got more clout than me.
No, I haven't. I still buy the ticket at Villa Park.
So yes, I am taking a free ticket with my mate John Gregory this weekend.
And lunch.
So I'm doing the freebies.
And lunch.
Yeah. So
spoilt.
So it's a bit of it's a cushion for me, because you couldn't do it and broke my heart. Johnny Gregory comes along and he just, my heart starts pumping again because of him. Thanks, John. You are the best.
No worries, mate. No worries.
You know that. Right, John. So we did the Cornwall Lions event a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Hello to the Cornwall Lions, because I know they'll be listening to this. And we got on so well, as I did with Teale, and we decided to write your book, and we started it in January of this year. John, tell everybody the reason as to why you've done a Villa book before when you were manager of Villa.
Yeah.
Tell us why you decided that this was the time to do a proper autobiography which covered the whole of your career.
Because I'm going to be fucking dead soon.
Okay.
There is that, Robert. I'm 71 years old now, so I need to sort of get on with it. If I'm going to write an autobiography, I need to get it done before it's too late. Yeah.
Do you know what?
And I bet Rob badgered you to do it.
Well, he did ring me up 300 or 400 times.
I just got a thick skin. I could imagine him going, "Oh, fucking hell, it's Carless again." Right. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Just get that one out. Get that one. But I'm telling you now, right? John and I, because we live quite close to each other, John and I get together and we to do the book. The man does not look 71. He's the man in black. He looks absolutely so. I have to with Teale. I just put any old T-shirt on, the Aldi specials. But with John,
I've had easy life, mate.
Armani.
I've had easy life, so
I
get well looked after at home. So
he's an easy life. All right then. So John, you started your career, at Northampton and spent. Yeah, spent about 5-6 seasons, I would imagine, thinking about it just off the top of my head. We've gone through that chapter and a few others as well. So, obviously, this is a Villa-centric podcast that we're doing. Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about how you came to sign for Villa in phase one. I'll call it phase one.
Okay.
Tell us a bit more about that, Johnny.
Well, I was in the first team at Northampton. I played 187 times in the first team. I played any position you want me to play, I'll play, as long as I got a game, So I played a lot of games, a lot of experience I picked up during those years. And we finished the season. We played our last match of the season, and we stopped off at the Sandy Acre Post House on the A52. And the chairman and the manager, David Bowen, called me into a little side office, and they told me that Aston Villa had been on the phone, but Ron Saunders has never seen you play, and he can't sign you without actually seeing you play. And obviously the season had finished for us, so we had no more games to play, but Villa still had a few games to play that season. It was the season they won the League Cup, 77. And so they said, Ron Saunders would like you to go over there for a trial, have a week's trial. And and would I agree to it? And I said, yeah, no problem. Can I go? I said, can I go now? And they said, no, you don't need to go till Monday morning. And so obviously I went across on the Monday morning. I met the manager and I met all the players. And suddenly I'd gone from playing for Northampton Town. We'd just got relegated from the old Division 3 into Division 4. I just got relegated. And 2 days later, I'm training with the team that had just won the League Cup final. And I was training with them, Brian Little, Johnny Gidman, Andy Gray, Chris Nichol, Ray Graydon, Alex Cropley. Great footballers. And I was totally in awe of actually even going into the dressing room to meet them. But that's how it happened. I had a week's trial. And Alan Evans, the great Alan Evans, he had a trial with me the same week. The same situation for him. Ron Saunders had never seen him play, so he wanted to look at the two of us that week, and that's what happened. We both went there. We both had a week's training with all the players, joined in everything. Went home and didn't hear nothing from Villa for about a month. And every time my phone rang in the house, I thought, "Oh, please be Ron Saunders ringing me up." And eventually, obviously, they did, and they signed me and Evo. The two of us signed that year, and the rest is history.
Being star players, John, obviously,
we weren't at the time.
You were brought over and put in a 5-star hotel for that time that you were training with us.
No.
Tell us a little bit more about the 5-star hotel.
The 5-star hotel was in the basement. The basement, not upstairs, downstairs. Me and Evo, we had a single mattress, not bed. We had a single mattress each on the floor in the basement of the hostel on Chester Road. So there was young apprentice professionals that were. They had a lovely bed and sharing nice bedrooms and en suites and God knows what else. Me and Evo slept on the floor on a mattress each, on a single mattress each, in the basement of the hostel, and that's where it all started. And we obviously got through that bit, and the 5-star hotels came a little bit later. So, but yeah, that's how we started. And of course, Jim Paul. The great Jim Paul, who Teale will obviously know exceptionally well. The great Jim Paul was in charge of the hostel in those days. Him and Sylv, his wife Sylv, looked after all the boys. And Jim used to drive the minibus to pick the boys up every morning, take them to Bodymore Heath, and then after training would bring them back. And obviously when I eventually took over as manager, Jim Paul was our kit man. So I made sure I looked after him slightly better than he looked after me in those early years.
You were there for about a day and a half, and you're told that, or certainly on your second day, you were told that you got tickets to go and see Villa's game on the Tuesday. So you came down on the Monday for your first day of trial, and you worked with the first team and then with the youth team, and then on the Tuesday you're told that you can go to a game which was Birmingham City versus Aston Villa. Yeah, so I guess you got picked up by the club
chauffeur driven.
Yeah, chauffeur, and you were taken to the ground and had champagne and all that kind of stuff. Straight in. Tell us about your journey.
We left the hostel that night. I remember we had a sheet of paper with the directions written on it and the number of the corporation buses that we had to get. We had to get on the Chester Road, get a corporation bus into the city centre, and then we had to change buses and get on another bus that would take us out to St Andrews. And obviously, once we got on when we got on both buses, there was Villa fans on there who didn't have a clue who me and Evo were, obviously, and they were obviously off to the game, and so we got into the city. We picked up the second bus, that took us across to Smallheath, and then we had tickets waiting for us on one of the turnstiles, and we had to pick them up, and we just went in with the rest of the punters. We just stood behind one of the goals, and we were just there with everybody else. So we were nowhere near the director's box. We were just amongst all the Villa fans behind the goal, and unfortunately we lost 2-1 that night.
We'll skip over that. We don't need to worry about it. You want to see Chris's face there? He's like a Cheshire cat just talking about that. Just talking about that.
I think that was the last time they won, to be fair.
Probably was, yeah.
How did you feel about having to wait that 4 or 5 weeks from, you've done your...
I had no choice, Robert.
Yeah, I know. But contrast that to your first, the first time that you went on trial, which is in 1970 for Watford. Okay, when you were told...
It was in 68, actually.
Okay, so I did write this book. It's been a long day, guys. It's been a long day. I'm sure
I was 14.
Yeah, I'm sure it was it's right in the book. Tell us how you felt. What was the difference in the way that you felt from doing the trial at Watford and doing the trial at Aston Villa? What was the difference in process there?
When I went for a trial at Watford, I was 14 years old, and I was trying to become an apprentice professional. That was my aim. I wanted to become an apprentice professional, like a YTS boy, and I wanted to be signed by Watford. So I went there on trial, really hoping that they would take me. Around that time, I wasn't on schoolboy forms with anybody, and lots of boys that I knew and had come across and had played against at that level had signed schoolboy forms. I knew kids that had signed for Tottenham. I knew kids that had signed for West Ham, kids that had signed for Chelsea, and I hadn't signed for anybody. I wasn't on schoolboy forms for anyone. And I went to Watford hoping that initially they'd sign me on schoolboy forms with the promise of an apprentice professional contract when I turned 16. But I trained with them for the week. I trained with the first team. I trained with the youth team in the afternoons. And even though I was only 14, I was very, very passionate, and I really thought I was decent. And I looked at the other apprentice professionals who were a couple of years older than me, and I thought they can't actually do anything that I can't do. So I was very confident that I'd be offered a contract at the end of the week. So Friday morning came, we trained, and then the manager, Ken Furphy, who was the manager of the club, asked me to come into his office. So there's me thinking he's going to say, right, John, I think you've done fantastic this week. I can't afford to let you go without signing you, so sign this contract before you leave the room. But it was the exact opposite. He just said that I wasn't good enough. And he actually said, I'll never forget the words he said, if I thought you were good enough to play in the youth team tomorrow, the youth team are playing Saturday morning, if I thought you were good enough to play in the youth team, I'd keep you and get you to play in the match tomorrow morning. He said, but I don't think you're even good enough for our youth team, which of course destroyed me. I went out the office and I went behind the rookery end. I don't know if you remember the rookery end, Teale. When you come out the tunnel, you turn left. That was where most of the hooligans used to go on a Saturday. But I went behind them and I literally bawled my eyes out, and I thought, this guy's just destroyed me. And after I sort of managed to pull myself together, I just basically said, I'm going to come back and haunt you. And you've inspired me. I'm going to get myself a team somewhere. And you're the one that's influenced me. Now, listen, he might have been 100% correct in the decision that he made not to sign me. He might have been 100% correct at that particular time. But I thought he killed me. He killed me with just saying that I wasn't good enough even for his youth team on a Saturday morning. So I just basically walked out of there saying to myself, I'll show you, Ken. You've inspired me, Ken, and one day I'm going to show you that you've made a big mistake.
How does
So
that
that's
make?
how I felt. But obviously, when I went to Villa, it was a lot different. I'd already played 187 games for Northampton, so that was slightly different.
One thing that I admired when myself and Tealey did his book was that his resolution. Effectively, it didn't come in. Shaun didn't come into professional football till he was 24, and he got rejection after rejection, as you know.
Yeah.
Like what does it does it give you a thicker skin?
Yes.
Yeah, Tealey, would you agree with that? From the times that you were told it was going to be a no.
Yeah, I mean, without doubt. I mean, similar to what John said. I mean, I was an apprentice at Everton. I got released at 17 by Howard Kendall. Walked out the training ground and thought, I'll prove you wrong someday. And I think it just makes you stronger mentally. I think you can take the knocks then, because you've had the biggest knock, thinking you're going to make it as a professional at a young age, and it doesn't happen. And then you just have to keep bouncing back. It's just one of those things. And certainly it inspired me, and much the same as John said, it inspired John.
And with me, when I signed for Northampton, okay, they were a 4th division club at the time. My initial thoughts were Ken Furphy.
Yeah.
I thought of him straight away, and I thought, there you go, pal. I've signed now. I proved you wrong. I've kind of made my first step, and I proved you wrong. And obviously, then when I moved to Villa, Ken Furphy came to mind. When I put on an England shirt, Ken Furphy came to mind as well. And without knowing it, he certainly inspired me to really sort of get my head down, focus, concentrate, and prove him wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Ken Furphy quite a lot in the book. And
We
give him a middle name as well, don't we?
Yes, we do, yeah.
We do give him a middle name. And obviously, we can't say what we say, because, we've already used the F word a couple of times in this one. But obviously, you found that inspiring, and that was the time in football, the 60s and 70s, where it was a brutal world. It was a brutal world on many fronts, but especially in the football area. John Gibman tells a great story about Bill Shankly calling him in and telling him that, in no uncertain terms, he wasn't good enough. And that drove John Gibman to do the same as what you did there. And then for Tealey to get, a few Dear John letters, from clubs, and then to do what he's done. You can really tell that those people, those footballers that never take it for granted, that have come through the system of playing in the lower leagues, and I think you can really tell, that these people will give the absolute all, because they don't take it for granted. And I don't think, John, in your 3 parts of your career at Villa, and at QPR twice and Derby twice, to which we cover in the book as well, I don't think there's anybody that I haven't spoken to since I've done this book that doesn't appreciate what you did on 3 of those fronts. But just with a quick one on the Northampton days, and obviously signing for Villa, you very nearly had the chance to sign for Manchester United.
I couldn't be known to it.
And have you realised that I've now changed that as well, John? Now in the book,
yes, I didn't. I obviously I had no idea about it at all. I had no knowledge of this whatsoever.
Want to tell the story?
But Paddy Craren wrote in his autobiography, obviously about his playing career and his managerial career. He took one managerial decision, that was to go to Northampton. He came to Northampton when I was there as a player. He came to the club, an absolute legend of Manchester United, and he came to Northampton. Didn't do particularly well as a manager, but I got on very well with him, and he liked me. Teale, you know this. You know when a manager likes you. He liked me, and he used to talk to me a lot. He spent time with me on the training pitch. telling me things which he didn't bother talking to some of the others, but he spent some time with me. And in his autobiography, he wrote that during his time at Northampton, there was a young player called John Gregory, who I thought was a really good player. And he said, during the season, maybe 4 or 5 times, I would pop in to watch my old team, Manchester United. He would go into Manchester United to watch them. And of course, absolute legend at United. So, of course, he almost had carte blanche to go wherever he wanted to. Well, Tommy Docherty was the manager. And Paddy went to Man United one day, and he was going to see Tommy Docherty and tell him about this player at Northampton. You should go and see him. You should go and have a look at him, because I think it'd be brilliant for Manchester United if you went and got him. And the story goes that he went to Old Trafford, and he was walking up the tunnel, and Tommy Docherty came down the tunnel and said, "What the effing hell are you doing here? You're not allowed anywhere near the dressing room, and in fact, I don't want you anywhere near my players." So he basically fobbed him off big time. Paddy says he was going to tell him all about me, and he said, "I was so angry, I thought, sod it, I'm not going to tell you about John Gregory, so you'll miss out on signing him." And he went away with his tail between his legs, and very upset that Tommy Docherty had basically told him to keep out of the dressing room and keep out of the club completely. You're not a player for us anymore, so bugger off. But he said, I felt really guilty about not telling him about John. He said, but about a year or so later, John managed to sign for Aston Villa. And he said, I didn't feel quite so guilty then that I hadn't told Tommy Docherty about him. So that was basically how the story went. So yeah, lots of things like that happened during our careers, Robert. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that
exactly.
was one that didn't happen. So never mind.
Exactly. So the book comes out on the 9th of November. We are currently 40% through it, John.
Really?
Yes, we are 40% through it.
Was it a leaflet?
Yeah.
That's quite funny, actually.
Right. On that note, yeah, we're about 40% through. So it's there's still plenty to do. There's still plenty to do on it. Why did you call it The Ties That Bind? We know that there's a reference there to a Bruce Springsteen song, and we do have references through the book there. Why did you call it?
It's for me, it's about family. It's about the Villa family, the players that I played with. We went to war every weekend. We went to war together. We were blood brothers, man. We were just connected. We were together. On the field, off the field, you stuck up for each other. You know, somebody ever kicked one of your players, we'd all kick him back. If one of us got kicked, we all limped. We were always together, and I think it's like that for me. It's like that with families as well. I've come from a broken family. Unfortunately, big family. I had 4 brothers and 2 sisters, mum and dad. And there's about 10 or 15 broken marriages in all that lot, mate. But I was, and always have been, determined that won't happen to me. So my family is very tight knit, and the people that I've worked with over the years are still friends. I still kept in touch with people, and if ever I can help them, giving them a helping hand. With certain things in their lives, I'm always there for them as much as I can. You know, I've got a list of people that I can pick up the phone to if I was ever in trouble, and they'd be here in 5 minutes. And I think it's important that you can go through life like that. So that title to me kind of means a lot. You know, The Ties That Bind. We're binded together, and when you're binded together, mate, you need to be able to rely on each other, which I did with a lot of players, and particularly when you go into the management side, you know, you just rely on the players that go out on the pitch for you every week. Your career is very much in their hands It's what they do on the field for you, and I've always tried to keep the players close as much as possible and keep us together as a group. So we're binded together, the ties that bind. And you must listen to the Bruce song as well. So it will appeal to you more.
Yeah, exactly. What resonated with you, and certainly resonated with Tealey as well, is that none of you were born by Villa Park. You
No.
came from different areas to do it, and you both call Villa we. Like, I'm from King's Standing, a mile and a half away from Villa Park.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And what you two say means as much to you as it does to people that were born and bred Villa fans. So that's and I get that when I speak to people about the books that we've done there. So that's really good, and like you said, it comes out on the 9th. We've got an event at Chasetown a couple of days later, but the big kick-off of the book is on the 27th of November, where we're at Whitton Lane. The Whitton Arms. So that's going to be a big event for us to do. So tickets are selling well on that one. Get in touch with, for those that want to buy tickets for it, get in touch with Paul Ryder at RPG Promotions, and he'll sort out all the tickets for you on that one. So that's 27th of November at the brilliant Whitton Arms, which has become a really good focal point for Villa players and fans. Last season, myself and Teale did the Whitton Arms for was it first leg of the PSG game, wasn't it, Shaun?
It was, yeah.
So,
and it was a great night. It was packed. It holds a lot of people in there, and it's and they're all really Villa centric, as you put it, and they'll really enjoy John being there.
Those kind of people, Shaun, if I could just interrupt, they've been going. They went with their dads, and their dads went with their dads, and still there, and they still come. And players will come and go. Players will come in through the door, and they get very well paid, very well looked after. They kiss the badge, and then they're gone, and they disappear. Yeah. They disappear, and you never see them again. They've got no connections with the club. And those people that are in places like the Whitton Arms, they're there. They've been there for 20 years, 30 years, and their parents have been there for 20 and 30 years. And they're just Villa through and through. Their whole life it revolves around Aston Villa, and they're going to be there long after me and you are gone, Teale. The same families will still be going to Villa Park on a Saturday or a Sunday or whenever it is. They'll probably be playing at 3:00 in the morning then on Monday morning or something by then. And they're all still going to be there, and like you say, in the Whitton Arms, that's full of those types of people that they just bleed claret and blue, mate.
You're also going to bring your guitar with you as well.
Yes, I might just bring that along.
Yeah. So we didn't do that with Teale. It's bad enough to hear him speak, let alone try and sing.
I can't play guitar.
Yeah. Apparently, the only one he can sing, Chris Browne, is Free by Denise Williams. Or any song.
That reminds me, Rob, that reminds me, if I want to go to that thing on the 29th, I'll give Kieran a bell. He'll let me in.
As long as you pick me up and drop me back off in Erdington, then I'm fine. Again. I'm doing that. A couple of hellos from people that have joined us. John Stevenson, family. He's a Chelsea fan. So thanks for joining us on this one, John. And of course, Dave Wicks as well, saying
Wixie. Good old Wixie.
Exactly. Teale, don't say a word because I know you want to. So let's talk about your book then a little bit, Shaun, just before we finish off tonight's show, which has been excellent. So your book came out 3 years ago now, and one of the
how many years ago?
3 years ago.
Oh,
it's just come out of the bestsellers list. That's. Oh, God, I love the jokes that we have with us three on this show. Teale,
Yes.
You come down to Villa and you played in Scotland and you played down south and all that kind of stuff. You also had a stint in Hong Kong back
I
in
certainly
back in the latter part of the 90s. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit more about that then. How did that come about?
Well, it was quite strange because Johnny King had been sacked at Tranmere and John Aldridge was given the job. And as it sort of stands today, I mean, this is 95. I'm still the record signing at Tranmere to this day. So 30 years later, I mean, obviously they've gone through a weird transition of not having money and what have you. So obviously, when I signed, I signed for big money in them days. So John Aldridge got the job. Obviously, then finds out because he was a player there. Then finds out what I'm earning, and literally dropped me the next day. And I never ever played for John Aldridge. He literally dumped me with the kids. Didn't even tell me I had no future. And then what he'd do is he'd drag me to the home games, make me go in the dressing room as though I was in the squad, and then I'd jump in the car and drive back home, back to Southport, because I was never in the squad and I was never going to play. And then I got a phone call off a lad that I'd played with at Weymouth all them years earlier in non-league, and it was a goalkeeper, a lad called Peter Guthrie, who ended up going to Tottenham for what was then a record non-league fee. And he'd left Tottenham, sort of his career had never really got going, and he ended up in Hong Kong and was big mates with the owner of the club, Happy Valley. And I got this phone call, and he just basically said, "Listen, I see you're on a free transfer. Fancy coming to Hong Kong and playing?" And I'm like, "Really?" And he went, "Well, speak to. I'm going to put you on to someone now. His name's Mr. Chan." What a shock! So I spoke to Mr. Chan, and I said, "The only problem I'll have is because I'm on so much money at Tranmere, I'm not really going to take a massive pay cut to come to Hong Kong." And he went, "No. He says, "We'll pay you what you're on at Tranmere." And I'm like, "I'm coming." It was like I didn't even think twice. I didn't even ask Carol about it. I just said, "I'm coming." Because I just had to get out of Tranmere because I wasn't going to play. And I had 2 years left to go, and it was just going to fritter away. So I phoned Peter Guthrie back, and I said, "Yeah, I'll come. No problem. I'll come." So then I went to see Mr. Aldridge the next day, and I said, "Listen, John, or Gaffer, I've got a chance to go and play in Hong Kong. I can go on loan for 3 months." And the words out of his mouth, I'll never forget it to this day, were, "What a great move for your career that'll be." And I'm like, "Really?" Thinking in the back of my head, why is Hong Kong? There's only 8 teams in Hong Kong. How can it be a career move? I was 30. What was it at the time? 32, 33. I said, "The only problem is, John, I can't go." And he went, "Oh." And he panicked. He went, "What do you mean you can't go?" I said, "They're only going to pay me half of what I'm earning here, and I'm not taking a cut." And as quick as a flash, he went, "Don't worry, we'll pay you the other half." So all of a sudden, I'm getting full whack in Hong Kong. I'm getting half off Tranmere again. So I'm quids in. I went, "Yep, right, I'll go." And within 2 days, I was in Kuala Lumpur with the team training. And it was just great to get out of Tranmere and get a chance to go and play in a foreign country. And Hong Kong's a fabulous place. If you've ever been there or, been through it, it's just I don't know, it's just a weird place, but it's a fantastic place to live, fantastic place to bring kids up. So obviously, a month down the line, you do your fitness test, which you have to do in Asia. You have to do 7 laps of a 400-meter track in 12 minutes. Well, John, you'll know my running capabilities, and that's a nightmare for me.
22 minutes. 22 minutes.
So, yeah. So we practiced it 5 times, and I never got within 2 laps of finishing it. And then the whole club goes on one night and does it. And I managed to get in by 7 seconds, because if you don't get in, they send you back home. There's no contract. So I managed to get in. We all got in. The whole team got in, and none of us had done it in the trials of doing it. So then it's like they find you an apartment. They pay for your family to come over. Blah blah blah, and then the season starts. But it was just it was different. Let me put it that way. There was a lot more of a drinking culture out there for the players. A lot of Australians, a lot of English out there, a lot of Brazilians, and we all just banded together really, and just enjoyed our time there. So I loved it. It was great, and to the point where I came back after 3 months and I phoned Tranmere up after my loan was finished, and I asked them if there was any chance they could keep the deal going, and you can imagine what the answer was: definitely not. So within a week, I was back in Hong Kong again because they'd offered me more money to go back again. So I just went back because I had nowhere else to play. I went back and stayed the whole season. Came back in '98. So I was there that one season, 97, as it went back to Chinese rule, which there was no difference for anybody at the time, and ended up staying the whole season and loved it. It was great just to be away, live in a different country, different lifestyle, completely different lifestyle, and it was just part of my career. I always savour because they were just good times.
It's a great chapter in the book. I thoroughly enjoyed when we covered that one, and just I'm going to do some more plugging here. Just for people that may not have seen Tealey's book, if you go to Curtis Sport, not Sports Sport, you'll be able to pick up copies there. Quick question for John from Mervyn Charter. How good was John Gidman? My favourite Villa player of all time. Should have won more than one England cap. Here on that one, Merv. So how good was he, John?
He was very much like Trent when Trent was at Liverpool before he went to Real Madrid. There's a lot of similarities between the two of them. Great going forward. That was Giddy would end up in the right wing position during the game 15, 20 times a game. Always bombing on forward. Not the greatest defender. Very similar to Trent Alexander in that respect. Not a great defender, but he rarely got into those situations. He was clever enough to make sure that he didn't get left in 1v1 position. He'd always make sure that whoever was playing in front of him would look after him, protect him, but great going forward, and a great lad. I mean, he's to this day he's still in touch with Brian Little. They were they were pals. The two of them kept together, roomed together over the years, and Giddy was a great lad, and he should have got more caps than what he actually did.
Absolutely.
Right. Just a point on Giddy. When I joined Everton as apprentice, Giddy was at Everton, and he was just brilliant with the young lads. Absolutely fantastic with the young lads. The only thing is, he spent more time in front of the mirror than he did on the training pitch.
That's true. Yes, very true.
Yeah, and of course, Giddy contributed to your book as well, Shaun.
He did, yes, yeah. I've known John a long time now, so John's a great. I love speaking to John. He's just so much fun to be with and to be around.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great bloke. Right, unfortunately, time has beaten us. We've had this. Yeah, I know, exactly. We've really enjoyed it tonight. A couple of thank yous, obviously, to our sponsors, Luke77 and also Bowden and Dolphin Signs for their continued support. And thanks from from our side, from the terrace sides, John and Shaun. Every time I speak to people, there's always reverence and respect about what you guys did. You got a picture of John there. Yep, we can see that. Yeah, look at the suntans on there. Hey, that was the very first episode of Benny Dorm.
You know what, Rob? Me and John are the lucky ones because we got to play for that great club. These people that are throwing up and this, that, and the other, they only go and watch it. We were lucky enough to actually perform for them, and that was always a pleasure. Being at Villa Park.
It's definitely the ties that bind, as we know about John's book, which still comes out on the 9th of November, and we've got the big one at the Witton Arms on the 27th of November. Get in touch with Paul Ryder, RPG Promotions. For Shaun's book, go to Curtis Sport and just look up Shaun from there. John, been an absolute pleasure, and I'd like to thank you on a couple of levels here. One is for what you've done for Aston Villa, 2 for working with me on this book, and 3 getting me a ticket for Sunday.
No, you forgot to say a free ticket, Rob.
A free ticket, getting me a ticket for that game. You know
and
what?
lunch, and a free lunch.
Magic. You know, John, I just want to say you're my favourite footballer on here. Okay? just so you know on that one. Teale, pleasure speaking to you as always. We're back on in a couple of weeks. Thanks for everybody that came onto the show, asked the questions. It really is appreciated, and we'll speak to you soon. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, good to see you, Teale.
And you, mate.
See you Sunday.
Yeah, see you Sunday.